Inside Compass is one of a small series of works. There are not many of those works of different kinds, but the origins of my work in the late 60s and 70s, what I really wanted to do, I wasn't interested in sculpture, in sculpting something, in copying something. I was interested in what I could do with material and how material affected me. And I think that is really what sculpture is. Sculpture is something very exceptional. It's not practical, it's not made to be sat on, or you don't eat a dinner with it, or you don't wear it, and all these things. It expands our imagination. As I said, the material is what gives us language, is what is the foundation of language, is in the material. So making a new form gives us a new term, gives us a new word, gives us a new emotion. And that's what sculpture does. It expands our own possibilities, our own horizons. If you copy a head in marble, well, it's sad in a funny way, because it's like a block of stone. But what is really in a head, a few trillion brain cells and everything, this is really complicated and fantastic. So there was an awareness of the complexity of materials, and also the fact that everything we have in our heads comes from the material around us. Everything we have. So when we open our eyes, the material world flows into our brains and gives us thoughts, and we hear and we smell and we touch and we taste even the material world. And in doing that, our brain has even formed language out of these experiences. So every thought we have, every word is founded, its foundations are in the material world. See, what I wanted to do is have a kind of mix of slightly different contents in the work. So some of the work is very much about sort of interior energies. We only see the surface of things, but what we're really preoccupied is what is underneath the surface. A lot of this work I've made in wood in the last period. And making it in this wood, which is very stable, is very convenient, because I can move things around and change the shape of things for a very long time. Bronze is a fine material, but it's not incredibly strong. So this is the limit to what you can do with bronze, and it still is stable. And these works, they become very narrow. If you see this narrow element here, for example, in here, it's a very, very small surface holding probably a ton and a half of material above it. You can't do that you couldn't possibly make that sculpture in bronze. And therefore, stainless steel is a really great material for doing those kinds of things. This is creation, and this is what one is doing with materials. Moving the material around till one discovers something that one didn't know about before. Not just making something that's already there, but discovering something that one didn't know before and that extends one's own life.